If you just get a stock tip from someone on the internet, from a YouTuber, and then you go and buy Palantir, and Palantir drops by 50%, you are going to panic sell. You are going to curse that guy that told you to buy Palantir, because you don't have the fundamentals. You don't have your investment thesis. You don't have the conviction to keep holding onto Palantir and to keep eventually investing when the price drops.
So Henrique, in our last video, we kind of covered everything that was kind of like the bigger picture about, investing. We talked about ETFs, we talked about stocks, we talked about crypto, talked a little bit about how you went from, being in a weaker financial position to now being in a state where you're pretty much completely retired in Hong Kong at the age of just 39. Like, that is just, it's incredible. So today, I want to ask you a couple questions, kind of digging a little deeper, maybe a little specifically into stocks. I know we briefly kind of touched on in the previous video about first level, second level, and deep thinkers when it comes to picking the stocks. So why don't you, I know we talked about Palantir last time, how it went up 2,500%. Why don't you tell me a little bit about more, what these kind of categories are and who fits into them, what kind of stocks people generally pick.
Okay, the number one thing for you to be a good stock market investor or a good investor in general is mindset. It's all about mindset, because if you just get a stock tip from someone on the internet, from a YouTuber, and then you go and buy Palantir, and Palantir drops by 50%, you are going to panic sell. You are going to curse that guy that told you to buy Palantir, because you don't have the fundamentals. You don't have your investment thesis. You don't have the conviction to keep holding onto Palantir and to keep eventually investing when the price drops, right? But if you have a framework where I develop a framework called deep tech value, like it's deep value in the investment in the tech space, right? Deep value investing. And what I do is I identify stocks that are underpriced. I want to see revenue growing. I want to see income growing. I want to see a balance sheet where there is not too much debt, right? So the company has room to eventually get a bit more debt and grow in the future. I want to see a great product. I want to see increasing number of customers. And that's what I saw on Palantir. Maybe other people saw an overhyped stock. Maybe they saw, I don't know, a stock that only works for the government. Back in 2022, their main customer was government clients. And people were like, oh, this stock sucks. And maybe some people bought the stock because it was kind of a meme stock on Wall Street Bets, Reddit. And then the stock starts dipping in 2022. Right. In 2022, Palantir went down by 80%. Okay. And many people were probably panic selling. Many people lost money on Palantir. I didn't lose money on Palantir because I kept buying and buying and buying. Every month it was dipping and I was buying more. Always dollar cost averaging. And my framework to dollar cost averaging when the stock is dipping is every time it drops by 5%, I increase my position by 5%.
Okay.
So you say you buy a stock, you invest $1,000. If it goes down by 5%, you invest $50 more.
Right.
And so on, So what happens is if you are buying something that is good quality, you should be happy that the price is going down because now you can buy it cheaper, right? I don't use stop losses. Stop losses are for losers, okay?
Okay.
Those traders, stop loss, blah. No, if you have conviction on what you're buying, you don't need a stop loss. You just buy, and if it drops, of course you should analyze why is it dropping. Yeah. Is it dropping because investors are dumb and they're not buying the stock?
Right.
If that's the case, you just buy it because the market is a machine that transfers money from the impatient to the patient.
Right.
Is it dropping? If it drops, you need to be patient and keep buying the stock. Of course, if it is dropping because something fundamental changed about the company, okay. Elon Musk left Tesla. Okay, maybe that's a different story.
Yeah.
Or with the AI revolution, there is some kind of product that is totally outdated, right? Let's say you were buying 100 years ago a stock in a company that sells horse carriages, right?
Yeah.
The stock starts to dip because the cars are coming.
Right.
you don't continue buying that stock, right? But if it is a stock that where the product still makes sense, you just keep buying, right?
Right.
That's the main thing. And the second level thinking is you need to ask 2-3 levels deep questions. It's not only like, oh my God, everyone's selling, or oh my God, the stock price is going up so much. Buy. No, why is it going up?
Right.
Do they have customers? What's happening exactly? Analyze the company, ask questions, ask again, and ask. And then, like,
who are their partners? Who are they working with?
Yeah.
Maybe any industry big players, like example, NVIDIA. They're buying a lot of data servers from Oracle, which a lot of people didn't see coming. And while a lot of people were talking about like how NVIDIA has rised out of nowhere in this new AI space and how NVIDIA has grown so much.
That's a good point in the second level thinking. 10 years ago, NVIDIA was just a company selling GPUs for gamers.
Yeah.
Was a thing for gamers.
Right.
And then they start selling a little bit more for crypto.
Right.
But 10 years ago, if you talk with an AI expert, they will already tell you that NVIDIA GPUs are the best for AI.
Right.
For AI training and for AI inference. So if you wanted to be ahead in the game 5-10 years ago, which I was not paying attention to NVIDIA back then. But if you wanted 5 years ago to buy the NVIDIA stock because of AI, if you're paying attention and you have asked the right questions, you could have done it.
Yeah, honestly,
Second level thinking is not only for gamers, this is also for AI developers.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, this is kind of something we saw when Bitcoin mining took off, right? Like me being ex-gamer myself, because at this time I was in high school, and when I used to, try to look for GPUs for my gaming PC, it was like the prices have skyrocketed so much because of crypto mining. And then eventually they started releasing crypto mining friendly cards that weren't meant for gaming.
Yeah.
So they locked the kind of gaming. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So they locked the gaming features out, and everyone could only mine on it. So they kind of segmented this out, and NVIDIA did kind of increase in value back then, but a lot of people didn't know that AI would be using the bulk of GPUs for training, computational tasks, and now we're seeing this with RAM as well. So all the RAM companies, the RAM prices have gone crazy high.
100%.
And like even in Shenzhen, like there is a massive shortage of RAM sticks. RAM chips for all sorts of use cases. And we're seeing this trickle down to the consumer as well, because if you look at consumer electronics like laptops and mobile phones, they're getting more expensive now simply because RAM has increased. And you'll see certain companies are also kind of maneuvering this by adjusting their offerings. So before, where an entry-level laptop would have got you 16 gigabytes of RAM, now you're going back to 8 GB, which was the norm from 5 years ago. But the market has had to adapt because of this.
But sooner or later we'll go back, because like RAM, GPU, CPU, it still gets cheaper over time. And this is the marginal cost, zero marginal cost future.
So what I'm kind of taking away from this is that I'm trying to be like a level 2 or level 3 thinker now. And now I'm trying to think, now if there is a RAM shortage, I mean, they definitely get minerals and materials from somewhere. I mean, most of them come from China, of course, because China is so rich with metals. Are there any companies that you think we should be potentially on the lookout for? Because, potentially they will be the suppliers to TSMC and a bunch of different chip manufacturers like NVIDIA as well. Providing them with chipsets. Where do you think we're going to see the most growth, potential stocks to look out for in these kind of fields?
Yeah, exactly. Well, a good example of what you're talking is very recently, copper price is going up like crazy, because every electronic device, GPU, CPU, computers, etc., use copper
for cooling.
So for cooling and for the electricity.
Right.
So now copper is going skyrocketing. Wow. But you could have seen this coming. Like if you bought copper a year ago, it was already very obvious. But now I think you need to see who is selling the picks and shovels, who can benefit from this AI revolution, and whose stock is not pumping yet. Okay, so I bought a construction company, MCOR, which builds the data centers. I bought Carrier Global, which is a aircon HVAC company, cooling for cooling the data centers. And probably you can ask these questions like, what are the companies that are providing to the data centers, that are providing to the robots, that are providing services or raw materials or parts to GPUs to robotics. Now, soon we'll have the robotics revolution. Elon Musk wants to have, in just a few years, he wants to have like millions and millions and millions of Tesla bots out there.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
So now you can start asking yourself, what does a Tesla bot include? It includes the motors, the metal part, batteries.
Yes.
What else? And you can position yourself to invest in these companies. Now, I'm not going to tell you which companies exactly you should invest in, but you can position yourself into these companies. Now, something else that I'm very excited about is about vibe coding.
Oh, yeah.
Vibe coding. Now, anyone can go and can create an app, a website, and so on. I was checking this chart. The number of apps on the Apple Store is like 3x exponentially growing because now anyone can create an app. So now I start asking. Again, I don't have any stock recommendations, but you can search who are the stocks that can benefit from this? What stocks can benefit from vibe coding? Probably you have some software stocks. I don't know. Database related like MongoDB or I don't know, who are the software providers that can benefit from people deploying so many websites and apps into the Apple Store and so on.
Right.
So this is something actually I want to go and do the research because there is for sure many opportunities there.
Wow. Okay. Yeah, no, that definitely sounds very interesting. I mean, I'm sure there's so many different places that you could potentially invest in this kind of sector. I think what it trickles down to is who are the people that are going to be using this technology. I mean, who is selling it? Of course, Tesla and a couple other robotics companies. What are they going to need in the manufacturing process? Yeah, I mean, these are all probably companies that are going to be performing well in the next couple of years if he's looking to get this done in the next 5-10 years.
Yeah.
So, that makes sense. And would you categorize this as a level 2 thinker or a level 3 thinker?
Yeah, this is at least a level 2. When I say level 2 thinking, doesn't mean that is just level 2. It's just, don't be just a level 1 thinker, right? Don't be just like, oh, this is going up, or, oh, I like this product, let's buy the stock. That's just very basic, and anyone can do that, right? All the investors are most of the investors are level 1 thinkers.
Yes.
Most of the investors buy a stock because they heard about it on social media, or just because the price is going up, or just because the product is popular.
Yeah.
But then you need to ask more stuff. Okay, a stock that I shorted 6 months ago, PopMart.
Yeah.
PopMart.
Oh, Labubu.
Labubu. Yeah.
Labubu. I know you guys know about Labubu.
Labubu, everyone was going crazy about Labubu.
Yeah.
Labubu stock, PopMart, going up like crazy.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, there is something not sustainable here because PopMart, they are opening stores everywhere.
Yeah.
And for how long do you think the Labubu craziness can continue?
And it's all on hype.
All on hype.
Yeah.
You look at these collectible craziness that happened in the past.
Yeah.
This usually lasts a few months, 1 or 2 years, and then it cools down. When it cools down, PopMart has a ton of shops out there with fixed costs, have employees, and they will be caught in the revenue costs divergence, where revenue is going down and the costs are going up, and they cannot keep up.
Right.
And if you shorted Labubu, PopMart 6 months ago, you'll be doing very well.
Oh, wow.
So that's an example. Or another example. Do you remember was it November or when everyone was lining up to buy gold?
Oh,
it was November, December, early December.
Yeah.
There was even a few shops here in Hong Kong. Lining up to buy gold.
Outside.
Guys, when you see anyone lining up to buy stuff, it's time to sell. Right? You see people lining up to buy gold, it's time to sell gold. You see everyone lining up to buy Labubu, maybe it starts to be a good time to sell the stock, right?
But wouldn't you also say it's possible that might be also the best time to kind of double down on your investment? Because if so many people are buying it, then isn't it likely that it does inflate even more? And then wouldn't there be a bit more of an exit point a little bit down the line?
Maybe, but the thing is, you need to be kind of early in the trends, right? If you are buying when you are at the top of the trends, it's a bit hard.
Mm-hmm.
I like to identify trends when they are early. Another example, Skechers.
Right.
Skechers, maybe 3 or 4 years ago, maybe 4 years ago, they came out with the sleeping shoes.
Right.
Right. And I bought a pair of sleeping shoes. And I was like, oh, this is really good shoes.
Right.
I'm pretty sure people will start buying this. And I bought the Skechers stock. Skechers stock went up like 100%. In the meantime, everyone was wearing the sleeping shoes. And I decided to sell. But I think like you need, if you have identified the Labubu trends, some of your girlfriends start to, oh, Labubu was so cute. Okay, maybe you should take a look at Pop Mart. But when everyone is lining up, it means that everyone already bought. Like everyone's already
bought it.
At the end of the trend.
It's kind of like at the peak already.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You remember the NFT craziness a few years ago?
Wow. Yeah. That was next level.
You need to buy when the kind of things start to trend up, and sell when everyone is absolutely madness about it.
Yeah, when everyone's talking about it, that's the time to sell.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the worst time to buy.
Yeah, exactly.
Very actionable
if
insight.
everyone is already talking about it,
right,
who else is going to come in to buy and pop up the price even more,
because
right?
everyone who wanted to buy bought already.
Yeah, exactly.
Makes sense.
So after that, only remains the sellers.
I think I've just upgraded to a level 2 thinker. Some of my key takeaways from this conversation was, if you're investing in something that you're passionate about, you believe in. Example, you put $1,000 in, stock dips by 5%. So then you put in another 5%, because what are you doing? You're buying something that you believe in at a cheaper price. Mm-hmm. It's kind of like what we talked about earlier. Like if you saw an iPhone at 10% off, you still want that iPhone. So when it's 10%
now you
off,
want it even more.
Now you want it even more.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. So that's how you should feel about investing as well. I think that's a very, very smart insight. I'm going to try and apply that to my investing practices as well. This has been great. I feel like I'm a level 2 thinker now. I think there's a bit of leeway before I hit level 3 yet.
Yeah.
But
always peel the layers of the onion. Always ask why, and don't believe immediately in what you see out there.
So ask questions. That's the best thing you can do. Ask as much as you can. Do all the research that you can. Speak to as many people as you want to. But at the end of the day, the decision comes from you.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Henrique. Thanks for having me on your channel. Guys, if I can't express this enough, please subscribe to Henrique Wealth Academy. He's an amazing guy. He's got fantastic financial insights for you guys. And do check out his school in Udemy as well. Thanks again for inviting me to your office. Really appreciate being here. Good to see you. And I guess I'll see you guys in the next video.
See you in the next video.
Perfect.
Nice.
Let's go.